Woo! Y'all ain't know why, right?
Love that on that beat.
Let's go. No masterpiece. 10 bad bitches and they after me. One bad bitch look like a masterpiece.
Dope movements.
Alright. And rolling, yay. So it's Dope Movements. We're back again. It's podcast number 83. I'm the host, The Truth, or Primo. Doesn't matter which one you want to call me. That's what you want to call me. I'm with guest. I'm with my guest, Kenny right here. What's up, Kenny?
You can follow me at Morto JYNE on Instagram.
All right, my son Reggie over here.
Yeah, Reggie. I was on the last podcast. Well, not the last one, but you might have seen me. I was talking a lot of shit. I can't do that again.
And you already know you got the camera over there.
He's not important.
Whatever, you already
My guy is
seen
ready
the
to proceed with his reputation.
Alright. So how y'all doing? First things first, how y'all doing? I know it's a long night. I know he's doing this really kind of late. How y'all feeling?
Alright, yeah, but you know, it's kind of warm out today, so you know, not feeling too bad.
It's cold.
Feeling right?
It's not cold, it's windy.
Yeah, no, it's windy as hell.
It's
That's
windy,
the thing.
it's not cold.
When it's not windy, you're like,
yeah, when the wind's
sun
not,
and
you're like,
oh,
damn,
shit,
it's like springtime right now.
That's a fact.
He Haitian, don't listen to him. They always cold.
Unless it's 90 degrees, they're like, what?
Nah, my mom, it'd be 80 degrees. My mom still come outside in the scarf. So I'm like, roll up the window. Oh my god.
Roll up the window.
Yeah, roll up the
It's cold
window.
as hell in here.
No, we in the car, bro. Going to church. Roll up the window.
Tell me not. Do your mom do this? Where they haven't been in your room for straight 2 hours. They'll walk into your room for 2 seconds and go, it's hot or it's really cold in here. Adjust the entire environment of your room and then walk right out.
Yeah,
and then I was just like, yo, you just made the whole spot cold or extra hot.
I just don't do it. Does she come in, open the window, as soon as she leave?
No, I just don't. That's exactly what I do. I'm like, okay, I'll let you do that. But as soon as you leave, I'm about to be like, why did you do that? You're not even in here.
I adjusted the room for me.
So we warmed up, right?
Yeah, we warmed up. But for the first topic we're gonna talk about is so apparently in California this woman.
Not apparently, bro.
Well, apparently,
Allegedly.
Nah, it's not. It's police reporting.
So here's what happened.
Here's what happened.
Yeah, no
It doesn't matter. Here's what happened. So apparently, I believe she's a teacher.
There we go again with the
First grade teacher or something like that, I read?
I believe
first
she's a first grade teacher. She got stabbed 10 times by a car jack in California.
Probably already getting stabbed by that
While
petrol
carrying
all
her
day.
child, by the way, so you know,
And
that's
it's just
double
like-
ouch.
It's like, damn, son.
Oh shit. Oh
You try-
yeah, I forgot about that.
You try, you got in the car. She's like, no.
Condolences to the family.
Yes.
And she's, fuck. Yeah, I'll be safe out there, for real. You know, we got pregnant women out there. Anybody.
And lock your doors. You know, I don't know if her doors weren't locked or nothing.
I mean,
you know,
I think it was that she was outside of the car. She was also outside of her house, but her husband was, I believe the story said he was in traffic. So, you know, the way that he found out was through, you know, like a Nest or a Ring home camera out on the outside of the home.
No.
So he saw it all go down, and I guess made the police report from there, or maybe a neighbor made the police report.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, can you imagine? You're freaking out. And you're like,
I think
I'm stuck like
yeah,
a solid
you can't
hour
do
away,
anything.
And your wife's out
I
there.
can't get out of my car because I'll probably die.
I think,
I can't
she's,
like,
I think she's
drive.
I think she's in critical condition. From what the article said, I think she's in critical condition, but I think she's alive. Hopefully the baby's alive. Hopefully the baby's alive. They didn't mention nothing about the baby from what I read so far. But you know, I don't want to think about the worst.
As far as I saw, there wasn't any like stab wounds to like the womb or to like the fetus or anything.
Her
But
lung was
apparently-
punctured,
but-
so that means the baby was not breathing for some time.
Damn.
I mean, if you consider it, you know, the way that the body works is if one lung gets punctured, the other lung doesn't just stop
Yeah,
working.
but now you're
So
bleeding and your lungs is
it's
filling
just
up
that
with
the
blood.
baby probably got like
Receiving
some
a lot
kind of
less oxygen.
Yeah, exactly. Was probably receiving a lot less oxygen. So, you know, if regardless of whether or not the baby got, you know, stabbed, injured, or, you know, the womb got broken in any kind of way, if the mom gets injured, that's the life
as bad.
force of that baby, you know?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
man,
It's crazy.
just give up your items, man. It's
And
never worth your life.
They stole the car, And it all started with "Give me your phone."
Yeah.
You know.
Look, well, my condolences go out to the family and to the person that that happened to. Hope they get better. But onto the brighter topic, Kodak. He's saying that Biggie and Tupac are only legends because they died. Okay, so
wait,
okay,
it gets better.
Oh,
So
it gets better.
He says that he's better than them too. I forgot to mention that. He said he's better than them.
I don't even need an argument
And
for that.
Kodak's the GOAT, everybody. You heard it here first.
First of all, Kodak is not a better rapper. Lyrically, sales-wise,
rhythmically,
just generally.
He's not a better rapper.
Freestyle.
But he has a point
topics.
to the whole they're legends because I mean with a lot that happens to every artist when they die the sales skyrocket.
I mean,
living legends not
think about
really
it
a
like
thing.
this. That's like saying, oh, Prince is only like everybody only loves Prince because he
No,
he died.
I'm not saying that, but
they're super talented. They was huge in their time.
But they're not. But it wasn't as big as they were when they died. You feel me? When they died, that's what.
But does that make you a legend?
That's natural
bigger
progression.
when they were alive, though.
No,
You
but
can't say that about
That's
anyone.
natural progression, though, because as time goes on, even if they were still alive, new people are gonna find out about you.
Exactly.
The population of hip hop fans has always gone up.
Likes if you can't
From the
hear me,
70s to
comments
just
if you
being
don't.
New York City to boom, exploding across the country, across the globe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, as more and more people are gonna listen to hip hop, they're gonna start going, okay, like where did this come from? So then they might go only as far back as Biggie and Tupac. So I would say that's the reason why
when were they considered
popular.
legends? When they were alive or when they died?
I would consider.
No, I'm saying when the society could
When they were alive, they were definitely viewed as top of the game.
But
nobody fucking with them. They are.
But when they died,
they are number one, number two.
But they didn't get the
not
title.
even like
You can't say that, bro.
It's
Because
number one
everyone
A
gets
and
bigger
number
when
one
they
B.
die, bro.
No,
Same
I'm
thing is
saying,
what
yeah,
happened with Kodak.
Dying doesn't make you a legend.
They didn't
Dying doesn't
get
make you
the
a
title
legend.
of
It's what
legend
you do
until
when you're alive.
Until after they didn't get that title until after they died. Because people still think Snoop Dogg is a living legend, but they say he's a living legend, but he didn't get the.
That's the thing
Biggie
is,
and Tupac didn't get the title of legend until after they died. Yes, they were great artists.
But we would never know if they would have been considered to your extent a legend alive because they didn't get the chance to live. So to that extent,
but people still consider them legends either way. I'm saying that
you just contradicting yourself.
They didn't get a chance to, like you said, they didn't get a chance to prove themselves as being a legend because they died early. But then after they died, and people started listening to the music more, and it was like, yo, these people are legends.
With Biggie,
that's what happened.
With Biggie, I agree with that. He didn't really, obviously, only having 2 albums. I get where you're saying but with Tupac, he was already a legend. He was already a legend because from early 90s.
Been rapping more than Biggie. But I'm just saying either way, they were still they maybe have been considered legends when they was alive by some people, but for the majority of people, they wasn't really fucking with Biggie and Tupac until after they died, and then that's because the media blew up their deaths, and it was like, yo, East Coast West Coast feud, and then and the media made it seem as if like you have to be either East Coast or West Coast, and a lot of times that's what ended up happening, and people was like, yo, Biggie's the East Coast legend. No, Tupac's the East Coast the West Coast legend, and then it was like they're legends. You feel me? That's how it ended up happening.
But wouldn't you say? My point is their legends are made while they were alive. So who's to say they weren't a legend when they were already alive?
I'm not saying they weren't, but I'm saying a lot of the reasons why people call them a legend is because they died during when hip hop was really starting to get really big.
So you don't agree with Kodak saying the only reason they're legends is because
I don't agree with him saying the only. I've been saying this from the get go. I said one of the reasons why they consider legends is because they died. They're not legends because I'm not saying the only reason why they're legends because they died.
So your point, to some extent, he had a point.
That's what I've been saying the whole time.
I think
but y'all was not listening.
You can become a legend. I definitely agree with that. But if they just died of some natural way, where it was like, oh, Biggie died of a heart attack. You think it would be as big of a legend? Because you hear about stories like Big L where it's like he was just walking down the street and he literally got just gunned down. Or you hear about X 20 years from now is going to be on the same shit and people are going to be saying, oh, you think he was a legend before he died? for sure. You know what I'm saying?
He was great before he wasn't a legend because especially Biggie. Biggie didn't really do much. He only been rapping for like a couple years, and then Tupac had a little more to say. So I can say he's a little more of a legend than Biggie because of the fact that Tupac had more album sales and he had more music put out, and he done more as well. And on top of that, what the fuck? What's his name? Tupac has been in movies. The whole
exactly. He had already done Poetic Justice. He had already been on magazines.
Tupac has a big influence, and then Biggie, of course. But I'm saying what adds on to the legacy is the fact that it died during.
So what's a legend to you?
Well, I mean,
like, what you gotta do to be a legend?
I mean, not me per se.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
Because you're not. You saying
like what would qualify that? Like, okay.
I mean, one of the qualifiers.
Like, obviously, you believe that they were legends both before and after. But my perspective is I don't believe that them dying makes them a legend, because if they were still alive, people would still be like, yo, they're legends. You remember when Biggie came out with his first album? Even if he had 10 albums out now.
So wait,
if he had 5 albums out now. Like, everybody knows Too Short. Too Short is still alive. He's been around since the 80s. And people are still like, bitch, that's his, he could copyright that, but he's just like, I want everybody to use it so that I'm still relevant, right? So, you know, he's a legend. He's got so much music out, but people will still go, of all different generations, will go, yo, you remember Too Short's this or that, or, you know,
what makes you a legend
is...
I think what makes you a legend is having an audience carry on your name, regardless of whether you're alive or you're deceased.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, they haven't been around long enough to really have that legendary status. There was great artists when they was alive, but they didn't really have that legendary status until it wasn't that known that they was legend when they were alive until they died, because that's when people start focusing on them more and they start listening to the music more.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. A bad thing at all. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the reasons why they're considered legends is because when they died, people can pay attention to them more. Because people didn't pay attention to hip hop in the 90s wasn't as much as y'all might say hip hop like that.
It was still developing.
It was developing. People didn't really fuck with hip hop like that.
Yeah. I mean, look at it like this. Ja Rule and J-Lo was the first ones to be like, boom, on the top 40 with a hip-hop centric hit. Not like, oh, a rapper is featuring on a pop artist hit. Like, this is a pop artist on a hip-hop track, on a hip-hop record. And that was, you know, late 90s. So think about all the great hip-hop records that came out before that.
Yeah. That's true.
But I think, you know, they were already legends, but the legend just becomes bigger and bigger after they die. You know, it's easier to become bigger and bigger because it's not being tarnished anymore, and they're not involved in it. So it develops amongst the fans. That's what I think it is the legend becomes like so much stronger because it's just ruminated on
Rest in peace, like, Tupac and Biggie, man.
For sure, rest in peace. But you get what I'm saying? Like, when they die, the legend is passed on and now just ruminated on, and kind of, you know, there's like mysteries in it instead of constantly being added onto more and more. Because now it's like, oh, Snoop Dogg got into this controversy, and oh, Snoop Dogg, oh, he's got this new album, Bush, with Pharrell, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but it's different from Doggy Style, and it's like, you know, I think it's better that, you know, those legends developed in that way, because, you know, people are sour about, you know, Snoop Dogg changing, you know, his sound according to the way that music has developed, or, you know, whatever artist you want to apply that to.
I mean, the long and the short of it, Kodak tripping. Kodak tripping, bro.
You know, the fact that...
Oh, man.
Yeah,
you know, for sure, it developed.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. I think it developed after.
Either way, RP to those great artists. Tupac, shut up. Not Tupac.
Damn.
Whatever.
Walk on that ledge by yourself.
Bro, you're more than me.
With him saying all this internet shit, have you heard about this new internet challenge that's been going on?
That's your
about
segue, bro.
I think somebody, you know, they're cleaning up the
like
rivers,
if you think that segue was terrible.
So what I think it is
I think it's they cleaning up the oceans
like,
with the trash and this all over.
Yeah, it's just like beach pollution, or like your local like park pollution is just the general feel of it. Because it's not really very specific to anything like, oh, it's got to be by the water, it's got to be by the river. I think it's just hashtag trash tag.
I mean, trash tag.
That's what it is.
Trash tag, bro.
Trash tag.
But, I mean, I
it's
find
like,
cool too,
me and my family saw that the park had like this one area that was really filled with trash or whatever because it's on the side of a highway. So we took a Sunday afternoon, 2-3 hours, 6 big garbage bags, and all of a sudden it's gone, and the place looks a little bit nicer. People that's not from the area, they come see it and they go, oh wow. And you can also put it on Instagram and kind of promote people to do good stuff for their community.
That's a fact. I mean, I find it's a positive way to change the world, do something that's legendary.
The legendary. Develop the legend.
Hey,
That was better.
oh my God. Let him rock.
We're going backwards now. We're not trying to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, speaking of internet hashtags and trends and stuff like that, how about this crazy? I mean, almost every trending topic on Twitter is crazy, right?
Yeah,
But this kill all. It's a little rougher to say in the first place, but kill all Jews was trending on topics.
Sounding like a South
on
Park
trending
episode.
topics. It sounds like it would be on a South Park episode. Exactly. But that's the thing is you have people that are just allowed to keep on doing their thing like
People are
that,
just so
talking
hateful.
stuff like that on Twitter.
And then you got a lot of people
Like,
that just think it's funny. It's like, okay, let me join the bandwagon because I have no individuality.
That's the thing is you got, is it a bad thing that, meme culture is like taking all this offensive stuff? I don't think it's necessarily bad that it's taking all the offensive stuff and making it into a joke.
Yeah,
but I think it gets bad
desensitize
when
to
people who are just, a little bit offset, who don't really get that, okay, this is like jokey, and they'll start going like, oh, this is people agreeing with my perspective.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
It started
And then
in
it's like,
Brooklyn,
okay,
right?
it's okay for me to put my,
Don't be shy.
really raunchy crap on
This is
blast.
about to be the podcast hat. This is about to be my signature look, the podcast hat.
You need to get some high water
All right, buddy.
suspenders with that.
All right,
bro.
Joe Budden.
The dope moves hat, yeah. blast
man.
Joe.
Oh, yep, that's don't be shy. Everybody, where my Haitians at?
Oh, Sagila!
Man.
But anyway, it's really funny because South Park actually did an episode like that where it was like they were making this machine to see what everyone on the internet posted and like who posted it. And I think if we had technology like that, hashtag kill all Jews would not be trending on Twitter.
I mean,
Some people just do it because they have the security behind their little internet screen.
I think some people are just bored.
Do you really
Well, it
think
grew
that
off
we
of,
have that privacy away from something like that, though? Like,
I mean, I feel like the amount of people that can see who
Facts.
you are and what you posted is very limited, and then you also need connections like
So that
the
means
government.
someone or a group of
Like maybe if
people,
you're good with computers, you can track someone's
I don't
IP
know. I'm
address and
jacking-
then get their
I'm
address,
jacking.
but then you still don't know who exactly that was.
it originated from
Like
from
an
a
IP address
synagogue
is just
getting
a bunch of
vandalized in Brooklyn.
So,
yeah.
So y'all all agree that people are crazy, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so
Niggas is
where did the trend
So-
come from? It came from...
It was somewhere in Brooklyn Union Temple. The synagogue was vandalized.
Oh, wow, that's not okay. That's like in a heavily Jewish neighborhood.
And it said kill all Jews, and then that's how it took off from Twitter. I don't know if a positive or negative light, but
You see,
they apologized to something
I
like that.
have something that I can relate to this, where it's
Sure.
like, when I was in high school at Valley Stream South High School, it was maybe like 3 weeks out from we're starting school for the next year, and there was this story in the newspapers that popped up where somebody had broke into the school and spray painted swastikas all over the place and
What year
a
was
bunch of
this?
stuff like that. Probably 13, 14. Is it between 2012 and 2014? Probably. It was
That's
in my
crazy.
it was
That's
in
recent,
my
is
high
what
school
that's-
years for sure, not middle school years. But in that building, it's all 7 through 12. So, and then a bunch of like slurs against like the principal and different teachers that were ethnic or in specific ways.
People
Right.
need to change their ways, right?
Right. So. But then people, they start doing, investigations with the police and stuff like that. And it's like, everybody that I spoke to in the school was like, who is thinking like that, right?
Yeah, right.
But it's obviously the people that you're not conversating with about this stuff that are probably the one that did it, right?
What I'm getting from all of this is people need to change their ways. But what's up? We back 10 with these
What's good?
Dopemovements.
It's Morto Gin.
Already knows Kenny over
Kenny.
here. My son Reggie over here. He already knows Primo all the truth. That's with my facts. That ass. And my son Cameraman over here. Sus moves on the back.
That's hashtag Dopemovements. Put in your Instagram pics.
But
do it.
But you're right. I think people should need to change their ways. But now I have a question. What factors does take into consideration when people need to change? Like, it should be like for like relationships, for like in general.
We on main topic already. Damn.
If they have like
right over my head.
You see, I think what it is trying to help people understand the way that relationships, short, 2-second interactions to 6-year relationships affected them, whether it be a friendship or girlfriend, boyfriend,
So
whatever they identify
Look
as,
right at me
right?
when he said that. We're just gonna ignore it though.
Well, I'm saying, all right. So, but what I'm saying is like, okay, let's say
he said the high water's got to go.
let's say, so like, let's say you have a girlfriend, right? And like she complained about a certain thing that she doesn't like. Do you change the way you change your ways and like stop doing whatever you do because you don't like it, or do you do it because like for example
I missed the
let's say
question,
she don't like the fact that you drink a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you drink because it helps you ease the pain or whatever, and like you go through like mental problems or whatever, right? But she doesn't. She doesn't like that. She doesn't.
Both of them just want to attack me. I've been running my mouth too much.
She doesn't like the fact that you drink though, right? So you So do you stop drinking for yourself, or do you stop drinking because she stopped drinking? Because drinking itself is not bad for you. Drinking yourself is bad for you, right? It's drinking is bad.
Right.
But do you stop drinking because it's bad for you, or do you stop drinking because your girlfriend said I don't like the way you drink?
I think it's always
that's a point in time for you to
motivations. I
evaluate
think
yourself.
the whole idea of like, this is my reason. Like, why can't you just be like, here's my reasons? Like, it's been on my mind for a while that it's not good for me, or the way that I drink is not good, or whatever. She doesn't like the way that I get when I'm like that, or she doesn't like the way that I ignore her, or whatever the case is, right? So in cases like that where where I know that it's affecting me,
So,
and it's affecting other people that are communicating it to me. For sure, I change things like that. But if it's something where it's like, the fact that I laugh really loud, or
so you
the fact that
I'm just under attack.
I like to sleep, or I get super sweaty. It's like things like that.
That's just
like,
oh my god.
Do you expect me to change the way that I
something.
laugh, or the way that I talk, or
So
things
alright,
like that?
so what if you have a problem? Like, let's say you got anger problems, right?
Right.
Let's say you got anger problems, but you don't really see it's anger problems, but like everybody else thinks it's anger problems.
What did I do?
So what you do is, in that situation, is you try to get everybody's perspective on like, okay, like here's like how the anger is causing problems, right? Or how it is a problem, right? Because only you can really figure out how to manage it. Other people can tell you like, oh, here's how I manage mine, or here's how I manage this or that. But it's like, you can take influence from that, but if you don't have that switch flipped to be like, okay, I want to take the influence from it because I'm trying to figure out that the solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's like, it's something that you have to like desire for yourself through learning and like hearing about it constantly.
So this one, do you have to listen to the person, or you saying do you have to listen to the person, or it's only for if you choose to change? Because if you don't feel like changing, or like taking heed to what the person say, and you feel like just doing whatever the fuck you want, are you wrong for doing that? Or are you wrong for doing that? Because I mean, at the end of the day, yes, to make her in the person, but at the same time,
what do you think, Reggie?
Right? Like, there's another person like in this room.
I know.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
Alright,
Well, no, buddy. Well, Kenny and I, like, what's going on, bro? You live down the block from me, bro. Like, oh.
Okay, Reggie.
No, I want your attention now. What happened, Marcus?
All right.
Why can't we have a cohesive podcast?
Because y'all brought me here.
Yeah.
Alright, so this
That would be so smooth.
this question goes out to everybody. How, like, do you, if somebody asks you to change something about yourself, but you didn't, but you feel like you don't need to change that, are you wrong for not listening to the person? Or, you know, are they wrong for, you know, mentioning who's wrong in this situation? Do you have to listen to that person at all? Do you feel that way?
You don't have to, but I feel like if it's someone that you care about, someone you see like on a regular basis, or maybe someone who just like around, like it might be a coworker that you don't give a shit about. You be like, yo, that nigga's always on my ass. He, like, I don't fuck with him at all. But he around you. Like, he can see like your habits and what's working with you, what's not. Like, you really need to sit back and be like, think about everything. Like with the anger problems, like I know what sets me off. I know what I need to do and what I need to avoid if I don't want to get triggered. Because I know once I get triggered, there's not much I can do to stop it. But I can kind of see where things are leading and take a step back. Now, in terms of changing, yeah, I really think it depends on like who the person is, and if it's multiple people telling you this. If it's just one person, you know, they just have to stick up their ass. Like, it might not really matter. It might be something that you do need to change. Well, maybe not need, but maybe something you should be working on. But maybe it's not like as imperative as they're making it seem. But yeah, like Kenny said, you can, you know, go ask your friends, be like, yeah, you know, how do you feel when we in this situation with me? Do you think I should tone this down? Like, change is for the better. You know, as humans, we like to just like stick to our old habits.
It's change for always for the better, because what if you
not always, but you can't expect to be living in different times with the stuff you was doing a few years ago. Like, you need to adapt.
You need to adapt and try heroin.
Like, if we're talking before we develop these sophisticated brains and whatnot,
it's always better, but
animals
it's not
had to
always
adapt.
better immediately.
Animals had to adapt. Well, it's either that or get clipped. It's the same way with us.
What if she wants you to start an unhealthy habit? Or
Okay.
An unhealthy habit, something
Like I said,
doing a
I'm
drug
always
or
for the better, but it's something you need to consider. It's something that you need to do. Maybe not change the way they're asking you to change, but like, you can't just be the same.
I mean,
We'll throw you out.
no, like, I'm a romantic, don't get it wrong, but I think it's overly romantic. I think you're overly romanticizing a relationship. If you're like,
What was that?
oh, they
Relationship. It don't have to be a
do
relationship.
coke
It could
or
just be
this or
like,
that.
yo, some completely, what's the word? Plutonic shit.
But what I'm saying
Plutonic
is
stuff.
like on the topic of like when
Like, that's
they're
where I'm
trying
coming
to
from.
get
I'm
you
assuming like,
into a bad
like
habit.
different people, not just like my significant
Like-
other telling you this stuff.
No, I was saying that significant other for some.
Yeah, because you want to put me on the hot seat, but we're not going to talk about that.
Like if they're trying to get you into a bad habit,
That's why you looked away from the camera, huh?
Yeah, facts.
Zoom in on when he looked away from the camera, bro.
Facts. Facts.
so I feel like
Get you.
if they're trying to get you
I'm
into
not
a
saying
bad
that.
habit,
I'm saying I did something and this is like my payback.
You're like
Accept.
desperate for
You're
something
right.
that's not there in the relationship. If they're trying to get you into a bad habit and you're still trying to put yourself around them, then the problem is within you because they have their own problems that's got them doing those bad habits or whatever. Don't get yourself involved in that because you're obviously dealing with other issues that's drawing you to these people. That is, you know, bringing negative energy or, you know, doing this drug that's affecting them in this way or whatever the problem is, right? Like, you know, the whole thing where, you know, person grows up in an abusive household, moves on, ends up in abusive relationships, whether they're being abused or abuser, and then grows up and raises in a family where they might be the abuser or something like that, right?
And the cycle continues.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you're drawn to these things unless you deal with them. So if you're just overly romanticizing everything and going, oh, but it's like just who I am. And not like accepting the changes that you need to make, right? So until you are accepting the changes that you need to make, and not the changes that you think that like should happen, so that you can get yourself into situations that you think will make you happy, right? Where it's like, I'm gonna change this about myself for this person, even though for the longest time, you've been saying you was gonna change it the other way, right?
But,
That's the situations where it's like you need to see what you need to change about yourself.
You know what, you kind of right. I do kind of feel attacked right now.
Instead of what you need to change for your relationship with other people, right? Because your relationship with other people will definitely improve the minute that you improve your relationship with yourself. The minute that you improve your relationship with yourself, your relationship with other people definitely improves because they're like, oh, I'm comfortable interacting with this person because, whether it be like, they're saying, oh, I can get a clear read off your vibe, or, oh, when you speak this or that, or, when I'm talking to you, I feel like you're going to listen, and then I'm going to listen to you, or whatever it is, right?
I feel you. And then another thing that help you with that, don't be afraid to cut people off. And that's more of a shot personally on myself because I don't know how to do that. I'm still working on that. But
snip.
if something's just like not working, like don't keep giving this person a chance. Don't blame yourself for something that you feel isn't your fault. And no, it's not your fault. Just cut them off. Delete the number. You don't gotta block them on social media.
Yeah,
I mean, I did, but
just unfollow.
That's a little much in this day and age. That's worse than slapping them in the face. Like, you want to block me?
I mean, would you say the smarter thing to do in that case would be just remove them from all of your timelines, so that you don't even have to.
Exactly.
I have to block them. Because if they don't want to interact with you, they're not going to interact with you.
Exactly.
You don't have to do anything to keep them from.
Well, I definitely took that extra step and hit block.
How you feel about it, Sus?
I was hoping you wouldn't do that.
The blocking movement.
How you feel about
the blocking movement?
Which one is more important? Change it for yourself or change it for somebody else?
I'm sorry. Wait, change it for yourself. Of course, change it for yourself is more important. If you're around people who you think is negative or actually toxic and just disrespectful towards you and how you feel and what you stand for, then
looking at multi-slides.
You gotta, you gotta.
You need to bring shades next time. That's a fact. Y'all gonna call me
never wear sunglasses indoors on the podcast.
Bruh, you gotta
get roasted.
Well, that's okay. Let the roast come.
This ain't blind. Oh, man. Yeah, nah, bro. You gotta cut them off. I mean, I'm a little on the... I'm not the person to ask. I cut you off real quick. Like I get tight quick and I cut you off quick.
That's so different perspectives.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I don't deal with that. Once I see certain energies are a little different, bro, I can't. It's not about, you could be who you want to be as a person, but if I feel like you're bringing a certain vibe towards me or you're just trying to do something I don't really like, then I gotta go. So that's just me, bro. That's not always that's not always the healthy option because, different situation. You could be living with somebody, etc., but that's how I'm living my life, personally.
So, in that case where it's like, you're about to cut somebody off, you think it's useful to try to, get a final conversation out there where you're trying to draw that information from them, where it's like, hey, what was the issue that is drawing us apart? Or, hey, what was the issues that you harbored toward me or whatever?
So, quick question. Right? You say instead of you the one being the actual change, what would be something you would tell, like, just say like you had a friend and they had like a toxic trait, how would you tell them to like you gotta get rid of that? Like, you say for example they like to hurt themselves or something like that, right? How would you tell them to like chill out on that? Would you tell them like,
what are tips and ways that you can?
Well, first I would ask them who else they've told that. That's first foremost.
Very important.
Yeah, definitely. First off rip is just telling as many people as you can. Instead, first of all, definitely in person because then you can get the genuine reaction of like understanding how the thought of you doing that affects the people that you like, right? Second, my thing that I would suggest to them when they're by themselves is like immediately as soon as you get that urge, link it towards something else. If you grew up like in the English club or whatever, right? Or the anime club. Go like draw like anime characters or whatever, or go write notes.
Find an outlet.
A
positive outlet.
I would suggest writing notes to anybody, even if you're not like a writer or anything, because just forcing yourself to try to write exactly what you're thinking kind of gives yourself a heavy like mindfulness and awareness of like, oh damn, like I'm thinking some shit. And then even more than that, you can go back the next day and go, this is how I was feeling, you know? So like taking notes in your phone or whatever it is, like where it's like, oh, like, you know, like I had this dream and I feel like it was because of this, or like, you know, just put your personal thoughts out there before you start getting into those spirals that bring you towards like cutting yourself or doing whatever it is that your like painful addiction.
Your mental health is very important, man. Take it seriously.
For sure.
Well, first I want to say R.I.P. Kami.
R.I.P. Camille.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts. Condolences out to her and her family, her sister, and everybody else that know her dearly. No, but yeah.
This bear is actually for her. Last thing she gave me was like this little red clay bear. But anyways.
Those crystals.
Yeah, see,
I've
Kenny
held
knows.
on to those forever. And will continue to.
I'm trying to find like a gloss, make it look real shiny, but anyway.
I need to polish.
I think you should you should try talking to someone. Like, don't think it's a burden. Like, you probably have a few friends. I mean, obviously there's like a few people who literally don't have anyone to talk to. But like, let's be realistic. Not everyone's like that. Most people have at least 1-2 people they could talk to. They might feel like it's a burden. They might feel like it's too much, and you don't want to talk about it. But you don't know what that other person's thinking until you actually talk to them about that. You have no idea. They probably love to help you. No one wants to wake up the next morning, or in like my situation, be like hanging out with your friends, about to go pick up this friend, and then find out, yeah, she's no longer with you. Like, that's just. And then as a person who knows that your friend is not always going through the best of it, and like they're just not in the right state of mind, like check up on them.
For sure.
Don't just
please
wait
check
for
up on
the
your
signs.
friends.
Like just yo, how you doing?
Even if your friends are doing
like,
well.
yo, you good? I'm about to go to sleep. Like,
even if
it's little things. Little things go a long way.
For sure. Like, no matter how much you talk to anybody, even talking to a person that's licensed, that you might even pay to talk to therapeutically, right? You might even feel like, oh, I feel so repetitive. Oh, I feel like a broken record saying the same thing every time. But that's what it is, you know, a lot of the times mental health is the same thoughts over and over again. It's like ideas that are like demons that like you carry on your back over and over again. So it's like learning how to be like, okay, I got this idea to like punch this idea in the face out of there, right? Or like a lot of people, you know, they refer to their like mental health issues as like, oh, I have baggage. So it's like, okay, so it's not really about like emptying out all your baggage or forgetting all of it. It's like, here, yo, like, you know, you need a bellhop? Like, I got you. Like, I'll help you carry your bags. Like, you find that person that helps you carry your bags,
in a nutshell,
you figure out
man.
a way to work your mind out hard enough to carry those bags better, you know?
You definitely
That's
reach
what
out.
it is. It's
Don't hold it in.
The way that you carry those bags better, or, you know, find that bellhop person, you don't find it by just sitting and thinking to yourself. You gotta go out there and talk to people. And it's like, I feel sometimes, even, you know, talking to my friends about that same stuff, about this or that, is like, oh, I feel like I'm constantly bringing down the vibe. But that's good, because then people realize where your vibe is at, and they'll be like, okay, I want to bring it up. You know, not everybody's gonna be like, all right, we gotta all match the vibe.
So do you think people change just to make people happy?
Definitely.
Why?
And
that goes on to everybody. I'm not just singling out nobody.
Finally.
No, it was never like that.
I felt the shot coming.
I'm joking.
He was the first one to jump on it, so I'll end up looking at him. And you give me the back and forth, so that's why I kept looking at him. But it goes out to everybody.
Pause.
Oh no, I'm gonna give a short
pause.
one on this.
No pause in this.
I'm gonna give a short response on this. I think it's just instinctual for a lot of people to want to like people please, or you know, they enjoy having a bond with somebody or having a conversation with somebody. So they'll do things that, you know, maybe, you know, they might not have wanted to do for somebody else, but if it means, you know, keeping them, having conversations with them and hitting them up on a daily, they'll do it.
So does
you
that
know?
make them wrong for doing it? Or
No, it just they should at least be aware of it, because then they can begin to like change that so that people are liking them for doing exactly what they want to do instead of doing what might make that person happy.
Did you ever do that? And I wrote, anybody can jump on.
I'm not gonna. There was a time where I did do it a lot, but then I understood you're not gonna get people that you're really gonna have a great connection with if you're doing that. You might be with people that you could have a great connection with, but you're squandering it by trying to please them and constantly trying to feed their interests or whatever. Because people with two different interests could be the best of friends.
Okay.
True.
Personally, I refuse to please anybody, bro.
Amen.
Why you feel that way, bro?
Nah, cause it's forget how y'all feel. You know what I'm saying? It's about me, okay?
You know
me.
He's me mugging, bro. Look at him.
You know me.
Headband and all. He's a born savage.
Listen, you know me. You know my vibes, bro. And that's it, okay? And that's it. That's all that matters, bro. Nah. Forget all that. All right.
What about you?
That narcissism.
Would you ever change for somebody? Even though
change?
Would you ever change?
Change?
Even if she told you to?
Change?
Okay, look, you already know the answer to that question.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
These people
Stop sitting here putting bullshit to the audience. They don't appreciate it.
None of these people do.
Okay, audience, since y'all don't know.
Thank you.
The answer is hell no.
Why wouldn't you, Reggie?
Put the Chris Rock voice on.
Why wouldn't you, Reggie? Let the people know.
Why wouldn't I? Because I am a selfish asshole. That's
Oh my god. This is not the
But would you get her to change for you though?
No.
You wouldn't?
I'd be like, okay, look, X, Y, and Z bothers me. You can take that information, do whatever the hell you want with it. I have my limit. Once I reach my limit, it is goodbye.
He said, goodbye.
You're gonna just be like, here's all the problems with you.
Okay, obviously I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't list it like that. I wouldn't list it
That's
like
what I
that.
don't like about it.
It's like as it happens, like in life, like
So what would be like something that set you off? Like, I'm done. I can't do this no more. Like, what's something that somebody would do, like your significant other would do that make you go, you need to stop that right now?
Clipping their toenails on the bed.
That's it, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Once they start doing that, bro, you got to go, bro.
That's a bad habit. Stop. That's disgusting.
When you try to brush something off your bed, but your hand like pushes it further in.
And also,
before we're gonna start sounding a little misogynistic. Let's just
also,
these are all
women can have that exact feeling about me, but I don't clip my toenails on the bed because I know better.
my god.
Quick question. Wait. So if they do something that you don't like, would you ever do a compromise and go halfway? So like, let's say, let's say for instance,
that's the only way anything gets done.
Let's say for instance, damn, I almost had a good one.
It depends. No.
Yeah,
I'm not about that compromise in life. No.
If your girl farts in front of you, is that an issue for you?
I mean, no.
Okay, is it like right in my face? Like,
I mean, yeah.
If
it's like disrespectful how she did it.
Listen,
no. But if we walk,
you just did that.
I'm not saying I did that. I just got disrespected on camera. Hashtag me 3.
I didn't mean. I was trying to.
I'm just joking.
You're lucky there's all this equipment.
But like,
Alright, bro.
My fault, but if she does it disrespectfully, like she comes up to me, hey babe, and the first one, my phone like, come on, what you doing, man?
Alright, but if she farts directly in my face and I'm like this, and it's like bam, but if she like walks over me and she like farts in my direction from over there,
I do it too. I will crack.
Look what bothers guys.
I will crack the fuck.
Look what the turn off is.
You see that bothers him?
You don't need to be loyal. Just don't clip your toenails on the bed.
If my girl walks into my room and then just goes and then just walks out and says nothing, I'm about to laugh my ass off.
I
would think that's cool that you're that comfortable with me.
You know, that's another thing is that establishes like a comfortability. I hear so many people where it's like, yeah, we've been dating for 2 years, and then like when I get the dude private or the girl
Oh, like
private,
when
I'm
Marty
so
was
have
telling
y'all
us about
farted
that
in front of
girl?
each
We
other?
ain't exposing people right now.
No, we're not gonna tell that story.
Oh my god. Oh
You gotta
my
ask couples, have y'all farted in front of each other? Because
You
it's
have
like
to ask couples.
that
what?
is like
I don't know
how
about
are y'all
half.
tensing your buttholes around each other for
I don't know about
3 years?
half.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. He wanted to go.
You know?
with the bus, but
No, like think about the effort it took to hold in a fart in high school where you're
I don't
like,
wanna
oh,
think
this
about
cute
that.
ass girl is right next to me. Now imagine you're married to that cute ass girl and you still ain't farting next to her 6 years into your marriage. That's the
too
issue,
much.
isn't it? Right?
That's too much.
Just let out the
I'm
fart.
assuming y'all don't live in the same house if you went that long.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. There's no way you don't catch me farting at all. So day one of like month 5, I'm about to fart in front of you.
Look at what guys think about. Man,
Nah, it's just. Look,
Nah, this is just bullshit that I came up with all this.
I'm not compromising
I don't
though.
think I've ever thought about this in a relationship.
I think it was him that brought up the question.
Oh,
Yeah, he
no.
brought up
in
he brought up
relationships.
what would make you want them to change, right?
Wait, all three of you said
You
you're
said
compromising
what would it make
in a relationship?
you want them to change?
Yeah.
No, it definitely
be
depends,
something
but I'm
that
willing
make
it.
you- Nah, I was just looking at it. Well, what?
Not necessarily that I'm looking for things in her to change, but like,
somebody would
Yeah.
have, whether your friend, your girlfriend, whatever.
Right.
What would it be that make you go? You need to stop. You need to relax.
So
okay, so
definitely in a-
Marcus.
in a friend.
Whoa, we're not
Yes,
doing
we can
that.
attack Marcus.
No.
No.
We're here to educate the masses. That's it.
Just say something that
It's neutral.
It was gonna be on topic. Y'all can't just. I
Listen,
can't have my
masses
own
need to
little
be educated on
segue.
Marcus's issues.
I can't have my own little segue.
No, as in like we're not. No,
Well,
We're
no,
trying-
you're
we're
just
trying
the
to-
host.
We're trying to help.
I'm trying to help you, bro.
No, I don't want your help.
Because you still do this.
No, I don't want your help.
We're not on camera though, like on the side.
Yeah, you want to help me off camera, my guy. What kind
Like,
of?
just in general.
This is
like,
bullying
just
at
in
that
general.
point.
It's not bullying.
Don't on video. Don't.
My guy wants to film a POV intervention.
Yeah, like what? Do that on your own podcast, all right?
I'm saying in general,
Like, give it an
like whether it be
intervention.
like your mom, you like a family member, like your girlfriend or a friend, like anybody. I'm just saying like something in general, not like somebody specific.
Yeah.
That's a specific.
You know, people that can't,
Pacific.
people that can't follow that rule of like, listen, if you don't have something nice to say,
They don't say nothing at all.
don't say anything.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like I be walking, like when I cop new clothes or something like that, and it's like a little wild or it's a new fashion trend. If I walk downstairs, my mom might hit me with like, "That's what you're like." Oh, okay, like some passive aggressive thing where it's like, "Yo, who are you?
I've been hit with that.
Are you my mom?"
I don't know what you guys are talking
I'm
about.
like, shit. Okay. They have no context to anything that just happened there. My guy just did a physical bit behind the camera.
The walls are
Well, he's
thick.
been doing that whole podcast.
You don't want to see me. You doing way too
I'm
much.
scared. Shut up.
I'm scared.
It'll be like that.
But like for real, like for somebody who's gonna be like constantly, nitpicking. They gotta constantly find something to like draw out and be like, hey, here's what somebody might negatively notice. And it's like, when that person would hit you with that, like, oh, you're gonna go to school in that, and it's like, what are you trying to say? Like just be honest with me. Like, you don't like what I'm wearing, but I don't like the way you're talking to me.
I'm different.
Well, watch out too.
I just tell you I don't like it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, come back to me.
Right.
Yeah, back to you.
So Marcus, I think I might have to cut loose your phone number.
I don't know. It might just because of my mom, but it really takes my buttons when people just assume stuff.
Boom.
It's like now you're coming at me with this energy that
Thank God Ariel
there's
ain't
no
here.
need for. There's no need
Right?
for, because if you would have just asked me, or maybe asked someone else and got like the proper details, this whole clashing of spiciness is just, there was no need for it. Like, cause you come at me.
First of all,
you come at me.
The clash of the spicy.
First of all, you
Yeah.
come at me going, my first reaction is to be like, first of all,
That accusatory energy.
yeah, first of all, it's like, I didn't do that. Well, and second of all, well, how about that you be doing over there, and I don't say nothing, blah, blah, blah. And now we arguing. We need to argue.
I don't like overpaying this. where it's just like you need to relax. You feel me? Like
There's limits.
or like
I don't think there's no such thing.
No,
See, I
I
was
think
gonna leave that
pettiness
one
is
alone 'cause I
already
would be throwing
over
shots.
nah, I mean, like without like saying like actual real life examples. I'm saying like don't just be ultra petty. Like you doing something for no reason. Like if I do something out of accident, I'm talking especially for like like if you're in like a
With friends or
no, for
relationship?
friends, relationship, etc.
Family, etc.
Whatever.
Everyone.
But it's just like I don't like if I do something by accident, right? You know, and then and I affect you in a certain way. I tell you my fault. Like for example, let's say,
You eat someone's Ritz crackers.
yeah,
Whole
like,
stack without.
yeah, yo. Wait, so you know, that's it. That's up. Time is up for me.
That's the time we have, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I
Catch
know
me on the next guest.
Sorry we ended
feature.
so abruptly.
You catch me AMORTO.
I'll have it in the
all our social media will be in the bio. Don't worry about all that. To my son Kenny right here, my son Reggie, my son Sus Move, and to the truth. You know, we out. Feel me? That's it.
I hate him.
Shout out to Hated.
Alright, look. So, welcome to Dopemovements.